Right. What do you make of all this Fury coming out, going off on Usyk and all that, saying he's going to do this and do that? I personally think he don't even. I think he fills his nappy and they don't fight in December. It's way too early to start camp for Tyson. I followed Tyson's career years, and he has never been in camp 4 months before the fight. Never 3.5 months, 4 months before the fight. So, what do you think? Do you think he's just saying it for the sake of it to stay in the mix because they've been quiet lately, or do you think he fights, Jerry? What do you think with this rematch?
No, I mean, I've had a question mark over that for, well, basically, how they were chatting after the first fight that the rematch was going to be, accepted. And as soon as they got that date, I didn't think they were going to make that date at all. And if he was going to make that fight, he'd be showing up to take a beating just for the money. But I mean, he's come out with stuff now just to seem like he's at it, just more bullshit to kind of deceive the fans. But I mean, what was he on holiday the other week? No, he's just making little videos just to kind of, just to kind
Rhubarb
of
and custard, Jerry. Rhubarb and custard.
classic, mate.
Yeah, go on.
He, he's um he's just dropping little clips like that to keep people kind of, keep anybody that still believes his bullshit on the line. But I reckon that doesn't happen in December. And if it happens, they'll move it to something like March or something like that.
He ain't gonna give his Christmas up him for all set.
No, no way, mate.
Do I
He
look
needs to
like
get.
do I look like a sausage? Just because he's gone for a run round Morecambe Bay with Bamba Gascoigne. I ain't falling for that. You know what I mean?
The
I
bomber
create
Gascoigne.
Isaac Lowe. Mastermind Isaac Lowe.
I was thinking University Challenge there with Bomber Gascoigne.
Can he beat Usyk? Yes or no, Jerry? Yes or no?
No,
Can't, can he?
no, I can't. No, so this nonsense about him not being in shape. He was in the best shape he could have been. He had the extra time to prepare. And makes you cast doubt over the whole cut situation. He's obviously done that to get as long as he could to prepare. He's gotten as best of shape as he could have possibly been in. Anyone that tries to say he wasn't in shape, blah blah blah, is full of shit. Um, that was him in his best as he could have been in for the period that he's in his career. And that, I mean, his legs aren't obviously what they once were, and he doesn't have a mission of beating Usyk because he can't sustain. If he's going to put pressure on Usyk, he won't be able to sustain it for any length of time. And Usyk's smart enough to know how to ride it out and beat him, drag him into the deep water and beat him the same way he's done with loads of other opponents. He does it, kind of has a slow start, and then he just gradually goes from first gear to fifth gear, through the rounds. But Usyk has now fought him once. He's a fight smarter than he was the last time. I don't know what Tyson Fury is going to be able to bring to the table this time.
He had 7.5 months, Jerry, to get ready for the first one, and a similar time for the second one. So there's no excuses. There's plenty of time. It's not Usyk's fault that Fury's, not dedicated to his craft, is it? It's not his fault, is it?
Yeah.
Usyk lives the life, and when I seen Derek Chisora coming out with all that Tyson weren't ready and this and that and blah blah blah, and he were pushed into it because of this £10 million fine and all that nonsense. That's his own fault if he's not ready. Like I said, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
Derek saying it next breath, Fury will be ready this time, but Usyk knocks him out. So, which is it, Derek?
Yeah, Derek's confused. I read something earlier, and he said the same. It said the same thing. Derek reckons Usyk will probably knock him out this time. Get your story straight. He's taking too many punches in the head, mate.
What do you think to Derek coming out saying that Joshua does Fury in 6 rounds and Usyk in four, or what it vice versa? We were on Talksport today, wasn't it? And Derek's going to fight until he's 50. He's 41 now, isn't he?
I don't think he could make it to 50, if I'm honest. He said Joshua does Fury in 6 and Usyk does Joshua in 4.
That way,
Is that
yeah.
what he said?
Yeah.
Um,
Joshua beat
maybe.
them both now. So Simon Jordan said, well, Usyk's already done Joshua twice and Fury, so what's changed? But Joshua's with Ben Davison now and he's studying all these videos of Usyk and Fury and all that. Derek, pull your tongue out Joshua's arsehole. All right, dogs do that. You're not a dog, are you? Hey? Dogs do that, Derek. You're only saying it because you're Finchley, ABC, like Joshua. And he's your pal. You're going into bat for him, just like your mate, Juggy Spencer Oliver. You are Joshua's PR man. He got schooled by Usyk. You couldn't give Joshua 6 rounds out 24. You could give Fury 3 rounds out them 12. And their 3 rounds is when Usyk's having a look at them and computerizing them. He did it with Bellew, didn't he? He gave Bellew 3 rounds just to have a look at him, see what he had. And then he just went for years, didn't he?
That's
Look
what he
what happened
does.
to Tony Bellew. He ended up on Button Moon.
And Bellew was, giving a good account of himself, but Usyk just digested it and then put the foot down, mate, and Bellew couldn't keep up with the pressure.
Jerry, where do you see Usyk when he retires? Does he go down as one of them that can fight in any era? Yes or no?
Yeah. I kind of get sort of disturbed by. I get the impression that Terry doesn't really rate Usyk.
Yeah,
but well, he seems to have changed his tune like just over the last like couple of videos that I watched of him. But I've always got the impression that he just doesn't seem to really favor Usyk. But I think the same way Kent has said and yourself, Usyk's a great. Like we're really lucky that we've lived in a this time where someone like him is basically he's just been a roadman killer. Like so we're fortunate to have witnessed this. Hasn't been an undisputed in like 19 years until 2025. So yeah, there you go. So we're fortunate to have witnessed that. And if he can get out of the game with an unblemished record, even better.
Well, it Lennox Lewis against Holyfield, first one last undisputed. That was 2099, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, this is how I look at it, right? Usyk, 335 wins, 15 losses as an amateur, rematched 11. European World Olympic gold. He won the WBSS. He battered Joe Joyce in final, didn't he? 5 rounds with no headgear. Battered him, didn't he, Joyce? Made a mess of him. Punched him upside down, Joe Joyce. He then moves on to cruiserweight. He's undisputed after, 10 or 12 fights or something. Right, on the road, he wins that tournament, the Muhammad Ali tournament. So we agree on that, don't we, yeah? Callum Smith at super middle, he won it at cruiser. He then comes out of that tournament, wipes the floor with Tony Bellew, yeah? Goes up to heavyweight, does Chisora, Chaz Witherspoon, Joshua twice, DeBar and Fury. He's done all of them. There's no left for him to do. All on the road, the B side. Every single one of them were Bs. In that tournament, they did everything they could. And do you know what? He were going through undefeated top Olympians, one in that cruiserweight tournament. He swept through a lot of them, didn't he?
See, that's what I was saying about Terry. Terry said he didn't really rate the cruiserweights he beat, but I mean, I think some of those cruiserweights are decent. Like you were saying, some of them were Olympians, some of them were, past champions. So to me, it's respectable. But that's what I was going to ask you. Terry also mentioned that he thought Fury had Usyk. Do you think Fury was about to do him, only he ran out of gas?
Fury ran out of gas. That's his own fault if he ran out of gas. It's a 12-round fight. If he's not prepared for that 12-round fight, bearing in mind, Fury, as regards weight, he was in his best shape for years, wasn't he?
I
So
think,
Fury,
yeah,
Fury had ample time to get ready. If Fury's gassed in that fight, that's his fault. We give Fury 3 rounds, Jerry, didn't we? 4, 5, and
I
6.
because I was told, I know I was biased towards Usyk. I give him one extra. But if you were talking to me like what I really give him, it's no more than three. Um, but I don't believe that Fury was one punch away from winning the fight. I definitely don't think so. I think Usyk was stopped short of killing him once he was in the corner. Everybody's seen the photographs, like, you know. So yeah, don't mind admitting that I'm a fan of Usyk. Don't mind admitting that at all.
I'm a fan of Usyk. In fact, for part 3, I might put my Usyk sweater on
Good idea, mate.
just to rub people's noses in it who hate Usyk. Because I'm Team Usyk. I
Most
like
disrespected champion, mate.
I like what he stands for, Jerry, you know.
Yeah, he's a decent guy.
You know, if my daughter Ruby fetched him up, I'd be proud. So, he's all right. You know what? We want to fetch him Fury. I might be like, oh, God. You know what I mean? Well, he would, wouldn't you? Be like, oh,
Yeah,
what grim on for? You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree.
You want somebody he's very respectful. He's all for his country. And from what I've
Good
heard, they
value.
don't haggle about money and that. Don't forget, this is where I have a go at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hills. Eddie Hills had Usyk tied down on a deal. He has Zhang tied down on a deal. But Eddie Hills, in his wisdom, he's running around saying, I'm not feeling it for Usyk. I'm not feeling it for Zhang. And he had Luis Ortiz. I'm not feeling it for Luis Ortiz. Commercially, it just didn't for me. He bought them to keep Joshua away from them, didn't he? That's right, not bought them. He signed them, didn't
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he? Joshua away from them. So you've got Usyk on a deal. And yeah, you let him go. You had Zhang sign, you let him go, let Luis Ortiz go. You know what I mean? Why didn't he upgrade Luis Ortiz to champion like he did Scott Quigg and loads of others? Upgrade him. He didn't,
yeah,
did he? Because he bought him as a blocker, Louis. Sorry, he signed Luis Ortiz as a blocker. Same with
yeah,
Usyk to keep him away from Joshua. That's the bottom line.
yeah. Ortiz got wise to that and pretty much said, you know, in broken English, that the deal kind of went sour with him and Hills. So he knew there was something up. He knew there was something dodgy going on.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
it's just one of them things, isn't it? But Usyk can hang in any era whatsoever, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Now, have you got this Joshua Dubois fight? Because it's all eating up in it now. We've got AJ Alapido on Talksport coming out, going on about bad blood, unseen footage, and Daniel Dubois a savage. What I
Oh,
want
that's
to know
all.
is why nobody's using that brutally honest comment no more. It's all bad blood. And all that shite, isn't it?
Trendy speak.
Hmm?
Just
What?
trendy speak. It's trendy speak, mate. It's like people start talking one way and then suddenly everybody starts using the same terminologies. So bad blood must be the terminology to be using. Bad blood this, bad blood that.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit, mate. But I've already said I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with AJ beats Dubois. I think I
Yeah.
can totally see it the other way, but yeah, yeah. If AJ survives the first 5 rounds, I see him beating Dubois.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? But we're going to see. What do you think to the rumours that Isaac Lowe, aka Bamba Gascoigne, he's going to make another run at it because he's still got something left in the tank? What do you think to that? Isaac Lowe coming back.
It's up to him if he wants to do it. Go for it. Whether he's going to be make anything of it, that's another story.
Dale Nichols will be choking on his burger and chips tonight when he hears that. Who's it next?
Yeah.
Village to me, Dale Nichols. Don't even speak to me, D-Nail. D-Dale, you cock.
Why
I
not?
got Porky's Corner, Jerry. I'm at next village and he swerved me. Wait till I knock on his door in a few weeks, he'll be like that. Oh! When I knock on his door and chop one out on his coffee table in front of him and his honey.
Oh my God, mate.
Oh, it's coming. I've got his address here.
Nice one.
Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy to do that, me, man. I don't mess about.
Doorstepping.
Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting that nobody on that show. Do you think that we really need to start seeing Chris Eubank Jr. in a fight now, or and stop all this Billy Joe Saunders chat? What do you think to all that?
That's nonsense, mate. Billy Joe's not coming back, and Chris Eubank, he's using boxing to make a few quid. Because if he cared about doing something meaningful, would he not have fought some decent opponents? Would he not have, you know, like went after proper champions? And to me, it just looks like he's just treading water at the minute, mate. Looking for some kind of easy paydays.
I was in Brighton a bit back and I actually seen his gaff. He had a orange McLaren outside.
Oh, really?
Kiddo wishes that's Eubank's house. And I was like, wow, how's he got that? And that one note. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, because did his dad not like blow his fortune and was bankrupt and all that sort of stuff? So how's the kid got all the dough?
His dad's a complete tosser, let's have it right. He's away with fairies, the old man.
I've never really been a fan, mate. Never really been a fan.
He went in an hotel in Sheffield, he got his finger on this hotel and he ran it all the way around this. You know, like you get a dado rate, it's like a skirting board, but it's in the middle of the wall, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
He got his finger and he ran it all the way around. He went like that around this hotel. And what's he doing him? He is an absolute crank. He is an absolute first class crank. He's cuckoo. He is absolute cuckoo, his old man. The best thing about it is his old man's got 4 wins over world champions, former, current, and future. Just 4, but he had 19 WBO title wins. So who were the other 15? There were no box rec then, were there?
Yeah.
It's padding for sake of padding. They were padding guys out with him for years and getting away with absolute murder. And the apple don't fall far from the tree, does it, with Eubank Jr.?
Yeah. And he realizes that. That's why he's kind of just, I don't know, looking to make a bit of money from boxing, just fanning about. So it's not very good from a fan's perspective because it's like, what are you supposed to be doing with your career? But I mean, I think how long's he been about? Got to 10 years.
Before Billy Joe 10 years ago, they're still talking about a rematch. Now, what, 10 years down the line?
See, who cares? You know what I mean?
Huh?
Who cares? Who cares about that now? Like, nobody.
Billy Joe's been out at ring now 40 months. Right. So if they give him a fight, he ain't going to fight Eubank next. He's going to need a warm up.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get in shape. Well, last time he tried this, he came back at 180 pounds, didn't he, after a layoff on a Bricktop show, fought at cruiserweight. But in fact, it's above light heavy, isn't it? And he looked chubby. If Billy comes back, he's going to need a couple of warm ups, and then Eubank will probably need a warm up, and he could be looking a year down the line. And all he'll have had in the space of 5 years is what? If it's a year, 18 months down the line, he'll have had a couple of journeyman in 5 years. And it won't be just to chase Charlo down or a Canelo rematch. It'll be a gimmick fight that we're all going to have to buy into. There's going to be intense beef, bad blood, laughing luncheon mate, funny fish, cheesy cheese. It's going to be all sorts of nonsense, isn't it? Laughing lamb. We're going to be going around in circles with this gimmick, absolute gimmick nonsense, and I were embarrassed for Izzy to see him on an interview that from GMB, and I know Izzy well. I were embarrassed to see Izzy. You were embarrassing going on about that. Oh, Billy Joe, me mate, this and that, and I'm a promoter. You should be embarrassed. And you know where my studio is, next to your pals' car place. Drop by any time. You should be embarrassed, Izzy. Falling for that absolute waffle from Billy Joe. Billy Joe ain't gonna fight. He's fat as a pig Michelin, man. In fact, fetch Billy Joe down with you and press buzzer. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd dance rings round him at the moment. Oh, absolute. So, Joe, he ain't going to fight again, Billy Joe. Flex even said it, didn't he? On that Coppers channel. Didn't he? PC Gully, you copper. Boxing King Media, old Bill from Main Street, Nick Rotherham. He should be embarrassed. People giving him access. Embarrassing. Curtis Woodhouse, you're embarrassing. At least I pulled you about it, son. Not like all the rest of them. Absolute waffle. I'm doing the best for my fighter. Absolute wafflers. Don't come knocking at my door when your doors get kicked in from old Bill. Hey, what do you think to this for a fight? Sonny Edwards and that Yafai kid who won gold medal. It's a good fight, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
I'm not into all that intense beef that Eddie's got him at it, and they've got to try and hype it up and that. I'm not into that. I just want to see him get at it. Hey, Liz, that's a good fight, that, Sonny and him. That's probably the best fight around at the moment, as a 50-50.
Yeah. But what do you think? You think it's just something that this era, the fans all have to have this kind of fake grudge match or type of shit? Yeah, to sell the fights. I personally, like you, I don't need it. I just put the fucking fights on. I don't need to see. I don't need to hear any of that nonsense. Don't need to see fake fights at press conferences. But people lap all that shit up. You know what I mean? So what can you do? Like, how can we change that?
I've got a mate, Jerry. I do CrossFit training twice a week with this kid, and he keeps going on about this era is better than 70s, Porky. I go, shut your mouth. You're going on about Ali, Fraser, George Foreman. He's going on Usyk's fucking not as big as George Foreman. He'd get George Foreman would wipe Usyk out. I said, listen, Usyk, same height as George Foreman, and he's half a stone heavier than George. I think he's about 4 or 5 pounds heavier. When George beat Fraser and Usyk beat Joshua, I think there's 4 or 5 pound difference. Usyk's heavier, and he's a southpaw. Yeah, I know Foreman were Olympic gold, but so would Usyk. But at the end of the day, Usyk's as big as Foreman. And what did they say about Foreman in the 70s? He's a monster. He's a monster. So what's Usyk then? He's a monster then, isn't he? Just because people have got fatter in the... Listen, we can't help it if people like Tyson Fury are big lumps and they can move on the feet. People are morphing into just fat monsters. Like Martin McCauley. It's fact. Martin McCauley wasn't like that when he was 20-year-old. You don't all of a sudden get to that age and morph into like some 20 stoner. It's just laziness. Dave Allen was that size when he was 18, 20-year-old. You know what I mean? Your bone frame don't get bigger when you're 30 than it was as 20. It's just laziness, mate. Absolute. We're talking absolute codswallop, lots of them. So I look at it anyway. I don't know. Do you think 70s era were better than this? I do.
Yes. I think the 80s was as well. And I know everybody loves the 90s too, but no way. 70s was way better than now. Yeah. But you brought up a really good point. And I've said this before. What do I know? But I mean, I actually think the more athletic guys in the years gone by, like 70s, 80s, and before, none of them were fat. Whereas I'd say late 90s to now, being a big fat lump seems to be something that's kind of acceptable in heavyweight boxing.
They were shamed, weren't they, in 80s, Jerry, if you were tubby, like Tony Tubbs.
Yeah.
He was tubby. He won a world title, didn't he, Tony Tubbs? They won him and then they lost him. They didn't keep defending belt and that. But point I want to make is Tony Tubbs were fat as a pig Michelin man, but he'd be a slim Jim at the side of some of these now, like Dillian White, wasn't he, and Del Boy and Fury. They're embarrassing, mate. Heavyweight champs or heavyweight contenders slobbing about like that. And Big Burger after fighting. Who wants to eat a burger? Derek Chisora, you weapon. What are you handing burgers out for after fights, you prick? Fighters
Tony Tubbs,
tuna and jacket taters after a fight, not burgers.
Tony Tubbs would look athletic by today's standards. Just having a look at him now.
Have you seen that Martin McCauley? Big old plates
Yeah.
of meat on him, big tubby thing with tits. Yeah, I don't want him to be a heavyweight champ. Do you?
No, definitely not, mate. But I mean, a lot of people are really high on him at the minute, and I
Well,
personally
because Billy
think,
Nelson won't shut up about him. I'm sick of hearing Billy Nelson. Billy Nelson, pipe down, going on about McCauley. He can't string a sentence together. He's like that. And you, that sounds like Derek Chisora. Don't imagine sitting next to them on a plane. Could you imagine Sam Jones sat between Derek and McCauley on a plane and give them both a reach around? Wouldn't you, Sam? Come see me. Gonna go on to part 3, JEZZA.
yeah, no worries, mate, no worries.
I'm enjoying this with Jerry tonight. Women love him, men want to be him. I'll see you on part 3. Don't forget, Porky's International. That's our other YouTube channel. That's our sister channel. We cover other sports on there. There's a good one with Barbara the Blade, a Sheffield United fan who's hardcore. She's not happy with season ticket prices. So we had Barbara on. What a good laugh that. So, okie dokie. Well, we'll have to go on to part 3 now. So I think we'll get in close. I'm a sod, aren't I? I should be on stage.